Well, I have to confess to you that I'm in shock. I can't believe that Italy is going to miss its third consecutive World Cup. Welcome, Madridistas. How are you all doing? We're going to talk about Guler being at the World Cup. We're very happy. Something about Vinicius in Brazil. He's getting criticized from all sides. But let's start with this because, not even with 48 teams, man. Not even with 48 teams, dude. But what is this? At first, back in 2018, when Italy didn't qualify, it was kind of silly. Like, oh, wow, what a surprise, such a shock, and all that. And you say, well, look, they'll be back next time. You take it as a bit of a joke. You don't really care, right? And you say, well, let them spend some time in hell for a bit, right? Hey, with the second one, with the second World Cup they don't go to, you say, man, this is a bad joke. I mean, this is just not right, man. A World Cup without Italy, damn, especially because those guys even won the Euros in between. I mean, they had an amazing Euros run. Incredible. They beat England at Wembley and Spain in the semifinals. Look, they beat Spain on penalties, right? That's funny. Damn. I mean, Donnarumma is in the glory photo during the penalties, and well, these guys won't be able to go back home. It's just terrible. It's terrible. And of course, there was a time when these guys, man, by the way, when Italy goes to the next World Cup, maybe in 2030, I say maybe because, well, there might still be 48 teams, but maybe they'll make it 70 teams. Maybe these guys won't go again, right? I think they'll make it in 2030. Things would have to go very wrong for them not to. That's my view, but you never know. But we'll start counting backwards, and it'll be 16 years of Italy not going to a single World Cup. 16 years. And these guys have won 4 World Cups. There was a time when these guys would win the match just during the anthem. They were such a force. They didn't play well, and they still always beat you. It was so much like that, look, in my case, and maybe for some of you listening, even from other countries who have been victims of Italy at some point, you'd say, but how did they beat me? But how did they beat me? And also, I remember I grew up with that. In 94, with the elbow to Luis Enrique, who at that time was ours, he played for Madrid, and they broke his nose. There, inside the box, the referee didn't call a penalty or anything. Spain had 3 or 4 chances to make it 2-1, and then Roberto Baggio comes, pling, and you say, how are these guys always so lucky? And not just with national teams, also with clubs. They took a big hit in the league quite a few years ago. Serie A, the Italian league, used to be the world's top league, right? Then they take that hit because things change. It starts to be the Spanish league, the English league, but the national team doesn't stop losing that thing, right? They win the 2006 World Cup, in the 2008 Euros, even though it was a much worse team, right? But until Spain knocked them out in this case, they fought tooth and nail, especially in the penalty shootouts. There was just no way with these guys. They make it to the final in 2012. Spain gives them a thrashing, but it was a team that was starting to play good football again. Remember Balotelli, Pirlo, what can I say? Well, there were still some very good players left who had been world champions. And like I said, I mean, the last World Cup, 2014, man, besides they did terribly, right? They got knocked out in the group stage. Did they get knocked out in the group stage? Yeah, right. They went out there along with England. It was that Uruguay and Costa Rica advanced. Yeah, in that group at the Brazil World Cup. Well, anyway, it was a disaster, man. A disaster. I swear to you, I'm in Spain, in shock, because damn, I love soccer, not exactly the way the Italians play. Always the catenaccio and all that, but a World Cup without Italy, man, it's like Christmas without a tree, without Santa Claus, without, I don't know, there's just something. And for the third World Cup in a row, and since I love soccer and it makes me nostalgic for my childhood when Italy was always at the World Cup, well, I don't know, it's kind of a gut punch. And I don't know, tell me what you guys think, if you feel the same way or if you're really happy about it, right? Luckily, we don't have any Italians here. Well, luckily, or yeah, I said luckily because it's just a catchphrase, but whatever. I mean, honestly, lately, Italy hasn't produced great players, I think. Although this Varela guy is good, but I mean, at Real Madrid, right? It would feel worse for us since we're now talking about Arda Guler. We should be happy because there are Madridistas at the World Cup and the kid is thrilled. Look, like they say here, hey, Italy may not be at the World Cup, but when it comes to elegance, that's not up for debate, right? The Italians, right? In fact, check this out. Let me tell you. It's kind of silly, right? But today I was in Segobriga, which is a city near Cuenca, here in Spain, and it has an archaeological site from an old Roman city with its theater, amphitheater, and Roman forum. Man, I was there with gladiator music playing because I'm a real geek about Rome, you know? And I think these guys, man, Rome and all of them, I don't know, the whole thing about being Mediterranean, all of this, it connects us a little. It connects us a little. And I swear to you, I swear it really pisses me off. Well, anyway, I didn't watch the match. I was listening to it. But what happened here? Wait, what was going on? Well, this is the last penalty, something really dramatic. Look at Donnarumma, man. When they scored the penalty on him, the desperation of this guy, Donnarumma. Sorry, Donnarumma hasn't played in a single World Cup, right? Donnarumma will say, well, he won. Let's see. Donnarumma will say, let's see. I've won a Champions League. I've won a Euro Cup, right? That's how I feel. Decisive at the time he was, or I think it was this year, right? Golden Glove, I mean, that's like the Ballon d'Or for goalkeepers. I'm missing my third World Cup in a row while he was already there, I think in 2018 as Italy's goalkeeper. Was it still Buffon then? Or Buffon was there, but he wasn't the starter, I don't know. The thing is, that was the moment, and look, because let's see, Italy keeps asking for goals. That Bosnia's goal came after a handball by Dzeko. That Dzeko, he's still playing, Dzeko, who comes in and then there's a rebound and a something else. Well, the thing is that they're complaining, but so are the Bosnians or Bosniacos. I found out you can also call them that in Spanish. They're asking for a penalty here, and I think he's grabbing him wildly. And this was already at 1. If I'm not mistaken, he's grabbing a Bosnian forward or Bosniak wildly, who was about to get a shot off. And well, here everyone asked for things, for example, for Bastoni. Well, that's another thing, of course. Italy has been playing part of the first half, the entire second half, and all of extra time with one less player because of a foul by Bastoni. Last man, he goes to the ground, goes down. The Bosnian gets there first. It's a red card, no doubt. But also later on, Italy has asked for this one on a Bosnian going in against an Italian forward here. And I think he gets the ball. Look, I think he touches it. Well, no, he touches the Italian, man. He touches the Italian. So maybe the Italians are right here. What happens is that he clears it like that. Well, the thing is, there's going to be trouble. And then there will be people. This is Bastoni's. Sorry, I can't put things there. Bastoni goes down. Also, they say Barca is negotiating for him. It's clear that's a red card. But if that's a red card, the other one should be too, since he touches the Italian forward. That Bastoni is negotiating with Barca. By the way, they're definitely going to start saying, hey, let's invite Italy because Iran isn't going. Look, for Iran, someone from their confederation will have to go, right? Italy can't go. But not long ago, I said it seriously, kind of as a joke, there with the people from Box TV who had a segment there in Miami with them about the World Cup. And I said, watch out, Italy. Watch out, Italy. They might not qualify. And if they don't qualify, who knows what could happen? Yeah. If the Asian team doesn't go to the World Cup, well, maybe they could call Italy instead. But I don't think so. That would be a really, really bizarre wildcard, right? From FIFA's side, well, FIFA has been caught red-handed so many times that, guys, anyway, well. Bueno. Let's go with Arda. Well, of course, this in football. Yeah, I'll finish with Italy. This in football. Do you remember the other day when I told you about it? I said, this is going to come back to haunt them. I don't know how. It's a comic thing, something like covering the locker room walls. From Bosnia, with Di Marco and Vicario here, and a few more from the Italian section, celebrating. Because in the penalty shootout against Bosnia, watch out, 2 penalty shootouts in a row. Bosnia, man, were winning the beaten ways. And Di Marco is happy and says, come on, Bosnia, a bunch of nobodies. Damn, of course. That comes back to haunt you. In football, man, there's always something very karmic. That's why. Every time I see someone from my team doing something like this, I say, you just jinx them, damn it. You just jinx them. It doesn't always happen. It's just beliefs. It's superstitions. But, well, superstitions up to a certain point. Because this Bosnian guy in his locker room showed it to the rest of the Bosnians and said, look at what the Italians are doing, right? And look, man, mother of God. Anyway, well, sorry for going on about something that has nothing to do with Madrid, but I love football. I really like national team football too. Maybe many of you don't, but I don't know. What happened today is a shock, honestly. Let's go with Ardita. Let's go with Arda Guler, who has qualified for the World Cup. The man, Turkey has beaten Kosovo. Turkey has beaten Kosovo. And this is Arda Guler's joy. The match is already over. I don't know if this was during the celebration of a goal or I think it was after the match ended when Arda finally knew he was going to the World Cup. Well, we're really happy for him. The others who are going are the Czech Republic, who also eliminated Denmark on penalties. What a surprise. By the way, tonight in the early hours, we'll find out more. And also in the early hours, we'll learn more about the playoffs. Look, Bolivia is there against Iraq. I think it's Bolivia. And then there's Congo against, I don't remember exactly. But anyway, and then there's a series of friendlies. There's a series of friendlies, among them Brazil versus Croatia. And they're saying some not very nice things about Vinícius in Brazil, which annoys me a bit. But hey, they may have a point. Vinícius, wait, let's see if this has audio. I think it does. And if not, I'll read to you what they're saying. The other day we were saying Vinícius with Brazil is never. Look, there's Rivaldo and Ronaldo, man, here visiting Vinícius these days in the United States and all that. Well, anyway, I think it has audio. If not, we'll just read it. These Brazilians talk fast. Do you think with this player we'll win the World Cup? That's what they say about Vinícius. His stats are terrible. I've already said that I prefer Rodrigo. Yes, but the thing is, Rodrigo is out for 10 months, man. Since he started being part of the Brazilian national team, it hasn't affected him, this guy says here. Son, it's people on TV. Vinícius doesn't contribute anything to the national team. Let's see if I recognize any former player. I don't think so. I'm not sure what's happening. Vinícius' stats with Brazil are a total disaster. It's true. Come on, guys. Well, they're here doing this with what's this? They've made Vinícius look like it's too much for him. Well. These are memes made about Vinícius that the Brazil jersey, or however you say it in Portuguese, is too big for him. No, terrible. I mean, I can kind of understand them because, of course, you see a guy who should have been a Ballon d'Or winner, who scores goals in finals with Madrid, Champions League finals and all that. And then with Brazil, he just doesn't make a difference. So I can understand them. Now, as a Madrid fan, and all of us know Vini, we know what Vini can do, of course. And we know that he can do it with Brazil too. And besides, there's Ancelotti, who's like a father figure to him in football. But guys, I'll also tell you something. With Ancelotti, Vini has played 4 or 5 matches. I mean, you really have to judge them at the World Cup, not in friendlies. Though maybe in a friendly, he could have shown something for people to discuss. I finish with this. Of course, there are people here who are really pissed off, like the Italians and the Brazilians, because they haven't won a World Cup in many years. And well, Italy is missing their 3rd consecutive World Cup, and the Brazilians are something else. About a year ago or something like that, before they signed Ancelotti, I ran into several Brazilians in Miami. And well. But you can't imagine how they talk about their federation, or the Brazilian Confederation, as they call it. I don't know why. The Brazilian Federation is called the Brazilian Confederation. But anyway, that's what it's called. Confederations are things like South America, Central America, North America, etc. Y si alguien me lo puede explicar, que me lo... Let me know in the comments. But really, they're very critical of the president and of the direction this team has taken in recent years. We've always said Brazil is like Real Madrid for national teams, or Madrid is the Brazil of clubs. Expectations are high since Brazil has the most World Cups and Madrid the most Champions League titles. And the truth is, their crisis has been going on for a long time. Well, Brazil versus Croatia. Croatia was the last team to eliminate Brazil from a World Cup in Qatar. This was in the quarterfinals in a situation that was absolutely shocking. I was also stunned because Neymar scored a goal with very little time left, and then the Croatians tied it up and it went to penalties. And it ended badly, if I remember correctly. And it was dramatic for them too. But that's the dramatic part. And going back to Vini, for us, for Madrid, it could be that Vini actually plays in tonight's match or early tomorrow morning. I don't know when you'll be watching this video. Maybe Brazil has already played, but yes, apparently. He missed training the other day and got massages for his hip. And Ancelotti said, no, just as a precaution and so on, and he's going to play him tonight. Let's see if he does, but be careful because I really don't like it at all. In fact, we're playing against Bayern next Tuesday, or is it less than a week now? What kind of craziness is this? I mean, they're suddenly going to arrive. That's why seeing Mbappe in New York too, with a couple of days off and so on, really catches my attention. I mean, Vinícius won't arrive until this Wednesday, until tomorrow. He won't be in until Thursday, the Mallorca match in Mallorca. Be careful with that tricky match. It's a real trap game. And then Bayern, just like that, right after. I don't know, well, hope everything goes well for you. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment, and share. See you next time. Bye.